despite our physical location in the United States, I feel like it's been affirmed a lot that injustice anywhere begets injustice everywhere, as posited originally by MLK. I mean, perhaps not originally, but very clearly posited by MLK. More specifically, that we're tied together in a single garment of destiny. And this has been top of my mind a lot, namely as our generation has embraced concepts like mutual aid, which rose to mainstream prominence a lot during the height of the pandemic and the racial reckonings that we saw in the summer of 2020. But at the same time, there's been places like Atlanta where people are using mutual aid to like fight against things like Cop City, when now that what has long been a tried and true organizing technique is being likened to like racketeering and being used to repress movements that we hold dear. And so, because this is especially dangerous when we're like, people are saying that the US is in like a backsliding democracy. So all of that going to this central question, how can we as a generation remain really steadfast in our values and continue fighting for justice, specifically in the face of what we're now seeing as fascistic power grabs and political repression?
I mean, the first thing goes back to the original theme I said. I mean, you're reading words that King wrote in the letters from the Birmingham jail. And so this dude in April of this dude, Martin Luther King, in April of 1963, was locked up in Birmingham and wrote these powerful letters in response, not to sort of racists who were against segregation. He was writing in response to his critics from people who wanted integration, but were kind of questioning his radical tactics of coming in and bringing out all of this conflict and controversy. And he pushed back on them and said that. He said, look, I'm in Birmingham. I may not be from here, but injustice anywhere is a threat to justice everywhere, and how connected we are. But the reason why I bring that up to you as a Gen Z person is to understand King now is in his 30s. He comes out of jail and his tactics weren't working in Birmingham. And it was young people that went to King, James Bevel, Dorothea Cotton, these young people that said to him, change your tactics. And you have not allowed young people in high school and grade school to participate in these marches. And next thing he did, and Taylor Branch in his Pulitzer Prize-winning book calls it the children's miracle. These young people organized like hundreds and hundreds of children to march in front of Bull Connor, who opened up fire hoses on them. It was the first time in the modern civil rights movement that any jails had been full, and they were full of children. They had to get school buses to carry them there. And then they did it again. And this time, some of those iconic pictures of the civil rights movement, King released dogs. I mean, Bull Connor released dogs on the children. And that was it. It so shocked the conscience of our country that it expanded their moral imagination and took them out of comfort and got them into agitation and becoming a part of the activism. And the reason why I say that, because I think about, that's one of my favorite moments in American history. Because first of all, it was young innovators that found a way to go viral, to become a national story because of something that even King wasn't thinking of. And what they were able to accomplish was something that King criticized. He said, what we have to repent for in this day and age is not the vitriolic words and violent actions of the bad people, but the appalling silence and inaction of the good people. You guys call yourself progressives, but I say that with quotes around it because I actually think your views are very mainstream. What I mean by that is that if you polled Gen Z, millennials, and my Gen X, and ask them about these issues that you are passionately fighting for, you would find that the overwhelming majority of us agree with them. The challenge is not the people always standing opposing us. It's that we haven't figured out a way to get more people off the sidelines and into the arena. The artistry that you all, and I've watched some of your incredible social media platform. You guys are all the ones I've looked at are incredible innovators already. And my challenge to you is not just to be the issue based. And Sophia, I watched one of yours. You share a lot of the issues that I care about: criminal justice reform, telling the truth about our history. But what I challenge you to do is to find ways to break through this fractured media environment with so much distracting people, lulling us into to surrender to cynicism about the system, to give up our sense of agency and power, and remind people that they are the leaders we're looking for, and find a way to trigger more people into activism.